Bitcoin has entered the historic phase 2 of the bull. Phase 2 of the bull, every single cycle acts the exact same way. It surprises the market. It catches everybody off guard. I do not want you to be caught off guard. You have to understand what is about to happen next for phase 2. This is going to explain what will happen in Bitcoin for the next several months. So you won't be caught off guard. You can make even more money, and you will help other people with this video. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Steve. On this channel, we take no paid ads, no paid sponsorships. There are no paid affiliate links down below. Today's video is not sponsored by anybody. What we do instead, we talk about just the facts and the charts that actually help people. The only thing I ask from you is to hit that subscribe button so we can keep making videos without taking anybody's money. And we do it our way. Our words are not paid for. So please hit the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up on this video. You can follow us on Twitter at CryptoCrewU. Now, here we are, Bitcoin US dollar index. We're on the 2-week chart to clean up the candles. And what we have in front of us are every single phase that Bitcoin has done. What Bitcoin did back in 2012, it did the exact same moves in 2016, right? 2012 and 2016 were the exact same. And guess what? We're the exact same cycle right now in 2023. We're doing the exact same moves at precisely the same times. And I need to explain what is about to happen next, because it's likely you haven't seen a chart like this with the red box right here explaining what we're going to do next. And now we're going to lay it out in a simple and easy to see method. Take a look. What we have are this red line, right? This red line marks the bottom of the market. So here, red line, under it, bottom of the market. Red line here, under it, bottom of the market. Red line here, under it, bottom of the market. Red line here, under it, bottom of the market. But what happens is if you extend this red line out, not only is it the bottom of the market, it's the support for phase 1. You can see it here. We extend this red line out. That's the support for all of these candles in phase 1, which took 200 days. So for all 200 days, we just extend that red line out. That was our support. Same thing in 2016. Red line here, extend it out. That's our support for phase 1. And guess what? Phase 1, 200 days, just like 2012. Guess what we just did? Phase 1 of 2023 was precisely 200 days, exactly like these other 2 cycles we're talking about. And guess what? We took our red line, which was our resistance here, is our support during this phase 1 at exactly the same time for exactly the same amount of days, right? So now we have this system where, okay, extend this red line, support. We can do the same thing with the top yellow line here. The top yellow line here was our resistance during phase 1. So again, bottom of the market here, we move into phase 1. Phase 1 went high first. We reached our high price here, and then we went sideways for 200 days building market structure, having this as our base and this as our ceiling, okay? Why is that important? Because this is the bottom of phase 2. We have just entered phase 2. So the bottom of our market for phase 2 is the top of the market for phase 1. So here we are, 2012. Phase 1 of the bull, 200 days sideways, and then we move into phase 2, which also took about 175 days. So we moved into phase 2, and keep in mind, phase 2 always touches the base, which happens to be our prior current support, our prior resistance. And you can see it in every single cycle. Let's keep it simple. We have phase 1 and phase 2. Both of them need to touch the bottom, right? So we have the top of phase 2 here. We came crashing down to where? Our support. Phase 2, we went up to this price. We came crashing all the way down to where? Our support. We do that in every single cycle. Phase 1 of 2016, the high price is here. We crash all the way down to here. Why do I tell you that? Because where we're at right now is the beginning of phase 2. Bitcoin will still have to test this area. It will have to, and we will explain what that price is here in a moment and what to expect the next several months. How high could we go? How low could we go? And how long will it take? All 3 of those things will be discussed in detail in this video, right? Just based on the facts. If you like facts in the charts, hit that subscribe button because we cover just the facts. And by the way, when did we reach phase one of the bull? We actually covered it using our cheat code analysis with the Traders Dynamic Index. I sat right here in this chair back in February, and I said that it's likely Bitcoin just entered phase one of the bull. We are either just about to start our bull run, or we may have just started our bull run. So here we are. I mean, we've got to trust the facts in the charts, and here we are entering phase two of the bull run. And this is what I have to say about phase two. If we start to study and analyze the different cycles in each phase two that we've had, we look at this one, 175 days back here in 2012. This next one, 2016, was just under 200 days. So both of them were just under 200 days. They build market structure and the collapse all the way down to retest our base. Look at this price here. Back in the glory days, it fell by 41% in phase two. 41% it fell by. Caught everybody off guard. But when you look at it, it just built market structure. It was building market structure. It had to come down and confirm our market structure before moving up. Just like in 2012. We went all the way up to this price and we crashed all the way down to here before the market could move up. We crashed this candle was enormous. Look at how far. This was about a 50%. So we had a 50% drop in phase two back here. We had what was this? A 40% drop in phase two here. Expect a big drop in phase two. We have to retest our base. It has to do that in order to have a healthy and happy move to the upside, right? So what can we expect with this phase two? More of the same. About a little bit less than 200 days, and we've got to retest our base. And I'm going to explain how high we can go and how long this will last. Where will it put us? And let's dig into it. What we need to address is also 2019. 2019 was very unorthodox because we only had one bottom here. And then we had a parabolic move that died because of a gravestone doji candle. And that led us to our second bottom. Most people say, oh, it's because of COVID. No, every market has two bottoms. One bottom, two bottom. We needed our second bottom before we could move forward. The problem with this cycle is we literally skipped an entire phase. We literally skipped an entire phase of the bull because two phases were put into one here. Okay, but it was the same rules. We had this red line, below it was our bottom. Then this red line extended out, that was our support. And we moved sideways for about 500 days before moving into the final parabolic stage of the bull, the parabolic top, if you will. We're technically calling this phase two because there were only two phases of this bull, but we literally skipped an entire phase. There should be three. Now, here we are in today's cycle. Today's cycle is acting precisely as 2016 and precisely as 2012, down to the T. Take a look. We had our double top here, right? First top, double top, collapse in price, collapse in price. We had our first bottom here. We had our second bottom here. And by the way, when we called the bottoms, first bottom, second bottom, 85% of the world was against us. 85% of the world. But if you look at it, the only thing we did was we looked at the facts in the charts, right? This is the total market cap. This was our 2018 top of the total market cap. Total market cap is Bitcoin and all of the altcoins in one chart. This was our top. We called the bottom right here when we bottomed in June. Keep in mind, just like that stair step, we had to come back and reconfirm our base. This was our prior resistance, then it became our support. This was bottom one, this was bottom two. We said it repeatedly, on repeat. It's highly likely that the bottom is in, and it's more risky to be out of Bitcoin than in Bitcoin. It's highly likely that the bottoms are in, just based on the facts. And here we are today, right? So we had our bottom, we built out this base, we moved into phase one of the bull, which we called back in February. When we moved into phase one of the bull, we reached that high price of 31K. We said that it's not likely Bitcoin gets higher than 31K until around October-ish or past October. And we were waiting for one rule and one rule only. And that is with our Traders Dynamic Index, we were waiting for this red line to get above the orange line. That was the only way way that we can see higher prices. We need this red line to get above this orange line. And until then, it's likely that the market will move sideways, building market structure. So here we are. We moved into phase one of the bull. We moved sideways for 200 days, just about 200 days. I think it was 196, which is the same exact move in 2012. Phase one, 200 days, which was the same move in 2016. Phase one, 200 days. So if we're looking at it, we say, okay, this market cycle is incredibly similar to these two. And if it continues, this is what happens next for phase two here and phase two here. We need to understand this move and this move. They both had a 40 or 50% drop. They both retested the base. They both built market structure. So now we have all of the rules to identify how this is going to look. So our base is going to be roughly at 30K. 30, 31K is our base. It's highly likely in phase two, at some point, we will retest our base. Okay? How can we say that? Well, we've done that every single time so far. So it would be a pretty big crash if Bitcoin came back down to retest our base, but that would be incredibly healthy because it's likely that will get bought up very quickly. There'll be a long lower wick, and it's not likely that you'll be able to get your buy signal filled at that time. You'll have to be very quick and very strategic of where you place that price. But make no mistake, we're in phase two. We're in phase two, and phase two has lasted just under 200 days prior. So phase two technically started right here. So if we were to project that out for roughly 200 days, we can go ahead and make this box smaller because we're looking at roughly May. Now we get it to roughly May of next year, and we're looking at a very specific price as well. So as we draw this box, now it becomes pretty apparent what's about to happen. Phase two has a ceiling. With all due respect to everybody who covers crypto, I know everybody's got different ideas. I personally don't watch anybody else on YouTube. Therefore, there's no shade to anybody else. I literally don't watch anybody because I don't want to be influenced. My videos that you watch are literally 1,000,000% only my opinions and never influenced by anybody else. I don't watch the news. I don't look at social media. I don't care what everybody else is saying that will or won't happen. I do love the voting. I look at a lot of polls. Okay, 80% of the people think this is going to happen. Probably won't happen. So we just put out a poll. Will Bitcoin get above 100,000 by 2026? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people voted on this poll. A lot of people voted on the poll. The high majority are saying that we will reach 100K by 2026, which is further proof that we won't. There's a lot of proof in the charts that we will not reach 100K. A lot of proof. And this will be unpopular right now. But by the time that we get into 2024, especially later in 2024, especially like a year from now, it'll be like 90% of the people will say we'll get above 100K. Right now, I think it's like 65, 68%, but it'll be roughly 90% by the time that we're near the end of 2024, about a year from now. I'm just forewarning you, right? And if you break these things down in stages, we have a ceiling for phase two of the bull. The ceiling is highly likely to be right at market structure, right around 48K. It's not likely we get above 48K in this calendar year. And it's not likely we get above 48K in phase two of the bull. It's not likely. If we look at all of the facts, meaning how this was our ceiling of this phase two, and it was roughly almost 40% below the previous all-time high. If you look at this phase two, had this ceiling, and it was roughly 40, 50% below the previous all-time high. So if this is our previous all-time high, the 48K is the best case scenario at roughly 30% below previous all-time high. So it's not likely to get above 48K until we finished phase two of the bull. When do we finish phase two of the bull? That was our cheat code. That's when this red line gets above this blue line. We could move into phase three of the bowl. That's our parabolic stage. So more to come on that. By the way, I wanted to give a special shout out to all of our new students. A couple weeks ago, we had a massive sale. A ton of new students joined. I'm going to give you something special in this month, in December. I'm going to do a bonus video exclusive to all students and all FFA students. Leave a comment down below with what you want me to cover in this exclusive bonus video, exclusive to only students. Now I want to give you a health update. Health is wealth. You cannot achieve wealth without health. And I have a couple new health tips that have helped me in my personal journey. I've never shared them before. I'm going to share them with you now. I started doing 3 things. The first one, sauna. I started doing this sauna. It's been remarkable for my health to reset, rejuvenate my cells, sweat out all the impurities, and start fresh. I absolutely love it. I started doing red light therapy. This is another thing that really has been remarkable. Really has been remarkable. That combination of sauna, red light, I absolutely love it. The third thing that I started doing was, if you are a guy and you've got some hair left on your head, pretty likely you want more of it. There's never a case in a guy's life where it's like, nah, I want less hair on my head. You always want more hair. And there's a lot of ways to go about it, but I like to do the natural way. So I started making this concoction, which is cloves and rosemary. You take cloves, rosemary, put it in a pan with water. You boil it for like 10, 15 minutes. You turn off the heat. You let it sit. You strain it out. You put that bad boy in a spray bottle. And when you get out of the shower, you dry up your hair. You spray that stuff on and you rub it in, and it's natural. And it helps to remove all the impurities. It helps to grow the hair naturally. A lot of the shampoo that you use in your house is killing your hair. You don't know that because they don't care about your hair. They care about making money. But this is a natural way that I've used, and I wanted to share those tips with you here. Health is wealth. Let me know in the comments down below, especially about, if you're a student, what video do you want me to make as an exclusive bonus video? Hit the subscribe button. Throw a thumbs up on this video. Follow us on Twitter at CryptoCrewU, and I'll see you right back here in the next video. Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Click this video right now.